In the courtroom of God, Paul prosecutes God's case against the human race in Romans 1:18 to 3:20. And now God will examine three representative cases of humanity in Romans 1:21 to 3:8. The first representative of humanity to be examined on the witness stand is the worst case, the depraved man, in Romans 1:21 to 32. Depraved men are guilty of the great cover-up. Paul writes, quote, "Though they knew God, they did not honor Him as God or give thanks, but they became futile in their speculations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the incorruptible God for an image in the form of corruptible man. Therefore, God gave them over in the lusts of their hearts to impurity. For they exchanged the truth of God for the lie, and worshiped and served the creature rather than the Creator." Here Paul describes the downward spiral of depravity. Men start by knowing God, but they turn from God and neither honor Him nor give Him thanks. Turning from God, their minds close in an anti-God dogmatism. Turning from God, they lose themselves as well. Then terrible trades are made. They exchange God as the focus of their worship, worshiping themselves instead in an idolatry of humanism, transferring the worship of God as Creator for a worship of the created environment. They exchange the knowledge of God's truth for the ancient lie of Satan in the garden, that God is not good and should not be obeyed. And with each exchange, God takes His protective hands off of them, giving them over to themselves. Throughout this passage, the downward spiral continues. Men and women become deeply confused about their sexual identity, exchanging the natural oneness of man and woman in marriage for unnatural passions, receiving in themselves deep confusion as the due penalty of their error. Quote, "God gave them over to a depraved mind, and they were filled with all unrighteousness, including wickedness, greed, evil, envy, murder, strife, deceit, malice. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, arrogant, boastful, inventors of evil, and disobedient to parents." Unquote. Every single one of us is somewhere on Paul's list. And the people on that list are defined by and identified by their sin. Their sin has literally taken over their identity. At the bottom of the depravity of man, even while knowing the law of God that those who practice such things deserve death, they not only do the same, but applaud others who are doing evil too. Clearly, our depravity and sin proves how much we need salvation, every single one of us. Truly, this is a passage for our times, for you and for me.